Ahoy, everyone. Somehow I knew that it would be Linda or Nancy because when we left off at noon today, I just had this feeling that they were going to go back to all of my Saturday live streams and then use the clues to narrow it down to Steampunk Steve. So, Nancy, congratulations. And I do have a ticket to scratch off for you. Welcome aboard, everyone. Phil, Rose, welcome aboard. I was gonna send you a message, Rose. I hadn't heard from you. I was hoping you were okay. Excuse me. I might be a couple days late. I don't know for getting to Missouri. As it stands right now, I'm going to be down here in Sierra Vista right up until the first of the month. And I still got to go to Parker. And I would like to work a day or two in Parker. We'll see. I definitely got to be there to get, the legal beagle done, the surety bond, and the license plates. After that, I should be good to go. People in Michigan are hankering. You got to get up here. You got to do this. You got to do that. Man, well, I got to pay. I got to die and pay taxes. I think that's the only two things I have to do, isn't it? Carol Walters, welcome aboard. Steve is here. Sonia with a J. Diane Phoenix, welcome aboard. I think Kyle is here too. Carol, Kyle, Sue. I like this better than the water that you buy in the cooler. This is from Texas. Pumped out of the well at Oxford Ranch. Nice and cold yet. I'm surprised at how well that little ice box keeps things insulated. But yeah, good well water. I'm sure it's full of minerals and all kinds of good stuff. Whereas the water that you buy that's been filtered and reverse osmosis and on and on and on, I don't think there's anything valuable to it other than quenching your thirst, perhaps. Rose is saying hi to everybody. Moonshine. No, I know it looks like moonshine because it's in that jug. Hadn't thought of that. There's Linda. Welcome aboard. For those of you who just now came in, Nancy Drew, at the very first comment, right as we started today, she guessed the channel. Now, I know that some people are going to argue with me. Well, you can't say that Steve is full time. Well, yes, you can. Sure, he has property. Yeah, he spends quite a bit of time at his property. Obvious if you watch his videos. He's built that pole barn. Let's see, Jax's van is parked on his property. I can't remember the lady's name, but she's living there in her bus or her camper, and then there's another bus there. I can't think of whose that is. And then of course Steve's bus, and he lives in his bus. He's cleaned up the well house. They have water. He hasn't got his batteries for his solar power yet. But boy, does he have a bank of solar panels on the side of that barn. I can't think what else. Now, he's done stuff for other people too. I was hoping to see him when I hook up with Rose and Dakota Waters in Missouri next month. But sounds like he's not going to Dakota's place until August sometime. But maybe he might come up to Michigan if we have any luck, that he would come to the M24. Lasagna, it's a good channel. Linda, can we put his link up? Yeah, Steve, you've met Steampunk Steve, haven't you? Hey, Georgianne, welcome aboard. Good channel, Sonia. He's real laid back. He's extremely talented. The reason I was teasing Georgianne that he has the same accent that she does, well, close. He's from Pennsylvania. And he left out of Pennsylvania about 5 years ago. He bought that bus and totally remodeled it, turned it into a camper with the idea that his wife was going to go with him. And unfortunately, she passed away. So he continued the dream. And I know he's been to his son's place a few times. I think his son might live, I forget. I want to say Texas, but I could be wrong. That's where that film was done for the propane-fired campfire, if you will. I forget what they call that. That was this morning's thumbnail. Yeah, he put together one of those and tested it out. The company gave it to him. So here, do a review. Here it is. So he did. Well, so yeah, Georgianne, yeah, I forget what town in Pennsylvania, but that's where he's from, is Pennsylvania. He's a character. He also goes to reenactments. Now, whether he participates in the reenactments, I'm not sure. I think he might. The Civil War reenactments. Roy and Becky know him quite well. They've been to reenactments with Steampunk Steve. He's gone to a lot of the Schoolie Paloozas and the Schoolie get-togethers, naturally, because he has a Schoolie. Van build a few years ago when Jamie was doing the van builds. He was there helping other people, build rigs, cut roof vents in, all kinds of different stuff like that. That was his specialty, was roof vents. But he can do anything. The guy's multi-talented, and very interesting, very well educated. He does the thing that he does most of all is he tours other people's rigs and schoolies, that type of thing. He's made a whole series out of that for several years now, and those are fun to watch. He interviews them and he gets a tour of their rig. And yeah, I've gotten ideas from watching those series of things where he's gone into other people's school buses. And yeah, pretty cool. There you go. Thank you, Sue. That is Steampunk Steve's channel. His last name is Cobb. Steve Cobb. COBB. You can find him on Facebook. I believe the reason he knows Dakota Waters is that she had a schoolie about 4 or 5 years ago. She has since sold it, and she now is homesteading in Missouri. And Steve has been to her place a couple times. I think he's helped her with quail cages and things like that. And last I knew, he's supposed to show up in August at Dakota's, but I'll be in Michigan. So in a few minutes, we'll get busy and we'll scratch off Nancy's ticket. Hold Well, hopefully she'll be a winner. Wouldn't that be cool? What did I do today? I did not go on a hike yet. I still might. I had a hiker come through my camp. This is kind of the end of a trail. I think it might be the end of the trail that starts up at the top and it circles around and comes out here. I'm not sure, but because I was going to go up that way because I said it kind of looks like a trail. Well, I guess it is. The lady said hello to me, and that was how it was. Yeah, I don't know when you'll meet Steampunk Steve Rose. Probably in the wintertime when we're all out in Quartzsite area, because he does go to the RTR. And then there's Schoolie Palooza. I don't know where it's going to be this year or this next year, actually. This winter, I don't know where Schoolie Palooza is going to be. I know that there was some controversy this past year. Somebody kind of ruined it for some people. I'm hearing people make noise. Sounds like children. But they were probably told to make noise so that way the bears don't get startled. They know you're around and they'll stay away. All right, Rose, you're going to enjoy him. I think you'll find him very laid back, very knowledgeable, practical. Just a super guy. Just, it's like having Badge around. And Badge and Steve know each other. They're, mechanically minded, if you will, talented. They can do anything. Steve doesn't socialize a lot. He's a little more to himself. I'm not saying that Badge socializes more than Steve, but a little bit more. Steve doesn't go on live streams or anything, but when you were asking about this morning about live streams, I've never seen him on a live stream, and no, he doesn't do live streams. That doesn't mean that someday he won't. Maybe he'll come on my live stream. We'll see. So the day is young yet. I got about 3 hours of daylight. When you're here up in the mountains, that peak that I'm calling Car Peak, which don't know if it is or not. The way the sun is right now, going down that's due west. Well, you think of the horizon as being right here. Well, the horizon is up, looking back that way. Behind me is either Miller Peak or one of the peaks next to Miller Peak. But in front of me, Lily made a comment. So I didn't tell you couldn't point at the sun. I just meant full sun. I know that, Lily. I was just picking on you. Anyways, you can see there's the sun and there's the peak. And so in about 3 hours, it'll be behind that. And it'll only be like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it'll be getting dark here. And sunrise is kind of blocked by this mountain on this side. Lynn, yes, I am southeast of Sierra Vista, Arizona. These are the Huachuca Mountains that I'm in. Are we playing matchmaker? I don't know. Are we? Yeah, Brene. Nancy figured it out. She spent all afternoon going through all my old videos because she caught the part about where I said, yes, the channel had been featured before, about a year ago. So The feature channel is Steampunk Steve. And haven't you met him, Bernays? I think you have. She's probably mad, stamping her feet right now. I can see her. Just 3 hours. That's all you spent, Nancy? That's pretty good. You never had ever. Okay. Or never had I ever. I like how you say that. Never had I ever. Tommy's here. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. Everybody's picking on everybody, but Nancy won. She, in fact, the very first item in chat this afternoon, a few minutes ago, was Nancy Drew saying it was the featured channel Steampunk Steve, and she was correct. wait till Timmy Ray gets here; he'll be mad too. I actually don't think Timmy Ray knows Steampunk Steve, but everybody's saying hi to everybody. Time for me to grab me some shine. Some Llano, Texas shine. Well water. I have been hydrating all day. I had 1 can of RC Cola last night. Still had some of it left over this morning. Finished it off. All day long, I've just been drinking water. Just thirsty. Good. You got to stay hydrated for one. And number two, if your body's craving water, by gosh, give it water. Oh, Kami knows the channel too. Good. I'm glad you watched him. You're subscribed to Steampunk. Oh my goodness, Bernays. Yeah. Tommy, Linda's telling you. He's got a big schoolie. So one of a kind. I think it's I want to say a 70 passenger diesel pusher. So it's got the flat nose, engine in the back. One of the thumbnails that I posted, it would have been the first one, I think, last Saturday, shows the inside of the bus before he ever started working on it. It was right after he first got it, which was, I think, I want to say 5.5 years ago, when he was still in Pennsylvania and his wife was still alive. And it was a white bus, I believe, at that time. Now it's blue, and it's got a name. I can't remember the name. It's a German type of name, Schnutzel something. I don't know. You think Parkinson's might come from well water? I don't know. If it does, so be it. What did we do before there was wells and pumps and water treatment? How did we survive back then? We did. Did we get Parkinson's? I don't know. Did we? Now, what I think, there's G. Welcome aboard. All is all. We're going to be scratching Nancy's ticket here in a few minutes, G. She guessed the featured channel, which was Steampunk Steve. But well water, I think what happened back in the earlier days, and they're still digging up lead pipe, that they've managed to prove that people got illnesses lead poisoning, so as it will from the lead pipes that carried the water in the city water systems. For instance, Flint, Michigan. Um, yeah, the lead pipes were prevalently used everywhere. Out west, everywhere. That lead pipes were the thing for anything to carry water. Well, they finally figured out that that wasn't such a good idea. They started figuring that out way back, like in the 40s, maybe even before that. Did we hear about it? No, we didn't hear about it until like the 70s. Buckets and rope. Now that's cool, Tommy. And I bet that was the best tasting water. I know I grew up with spring water. And it was running galvanized pipe. My dad tapped a spring up the side of the hill behind the house and ran a pipe down underground into the basement of the house. And believe it or not, it had 15 pounds of pressure, natural, just from the gravity fall. No pumps, just gravity. You had a pump in the front yard and the river. Wow. You had to step away. You've not met Steampunk Steve. Well, eventually you will, Steve. Maybe he'll come to the monument. Yeah, James. Nancy figured it out. Yeah, when we do in February, I'm sure Steve, we can invite him. Let's put it that way. Yeah, our neighbors, when I was growing up, they were pretty impressed. My dad was quite the do-it-yourselfer. Um, Running water, indoor plumbing, the toilet, bath, the whole 9 yards. All all run because he run water down from the spring up behind the hill, behind the house. Um, First electricity. There's a whole story in that. Um, Dad was a character, but yeah, very first house in the whole neighborhood to have electricity, and the neighbors were so amazed that they started signing up for it too. My dad pretty much ended kerosene lamps days back in the 40s. I think the house got electrified in 47. And Dad ran all the wiring and everything. You just had to have the power company to run the poles to the house. And they weren't going to do it, but he managed to get it pushed through. They wanted to know who he knew. He's the governor. Yeah, I'm sure Parkinson's is not. I have a friend who has Parkinson's. And no, I sure wouldn't want it. No way. Cat scratch fever. Diane, day job getting Big Bird ready for the long trip. Oh, where are you going to be going, G? Oh, probably up to Oregon, I'll bet. I'm not going to be able to make it this year for Oregon. Maybe next year. We'll see how the cookies crumble. I intend to be traveling a lot. Yes, I do have to go to Michigan, but even in Michigan, I'm going to be traveling around in Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, those states in the Midwest. I'll be doing some traveling. And of course, I got to be there for M24. collect old kerosene lamps. Wow, that's neat. That's neat. Yeah, you got to trim the wick and right on those. I know you do on gas lanterns, so I would assume the same is true for kerosene. Traveling Nate Dog, welcome aboard. Don't believe I ever messed with a kerosene lamp. Wait a minute, I'm sure I have. Although maybe it wasn't kerosene necessarily that it was burning, but it was burning a type of oil. We had them back in the 70s, little tiny ones. And they had scented oil. It was kind of a hippie thing, you know. James is not going to make it to 024. Oh, yeah, it's on your anniversary and the graduation thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not only because I'm just basically running out of time. There's things I got to do in Michigan, especially even more so now. Things have changed a little bit, and yeah, I got to get there. Got to take care of business. But part of my business is still going to be traveling. So, Clarissa, and Sizzle. Now that's an interesting name. There will always be 025. That's right. There'll be an M25 too. Ironwood 25. I'm going to be there. So that's pretty much a given. There'd have to be something that seriously happened to have me miss Ironwood. So I intend to do a lot more exploring this time around. I might be going through Ironwood, not positive, on my way to Parker. Will I have time to camp? I don't know. I have a feeling that I'll just be pushing straight through. Leave down here early in the morning, around the 1st. I think the 1st is on a Monday. I don't remember, but I'll be pushing it. Leave early and probably get to Parker in the afternoon or late afternoon. Your business seems to be watching me. That's funny, Steve. Yeah, I missed you Monday morning. I forget what I had going on, but didn't get to watch it. But I got 2 things written down. Sunday night, I got to try to catch Murder Mystery Haunted History, just in case Dawn might know anything about Uncle Lisa. Plus, I need to watch them. I haven't watched her in a long time. I think Mel and Nettie will be on there too. She usually is. And then I've got you written down for Monday morning. And then as quick as I'm done watching you, then I got to leave for work. So I'll probably watch you from the parking lot of where I'm working on Monday, which is the Circle K on Fry Street, or Fry Road, whatever it is, here in Sierra Vista. Yeah, Sonia, I miss Uncle Lisa too. He's a blast. We should send him a patch for hot dogs. Carl's here. Welcome aboard. I didn't see you sneak in. But welcome aboard, Carl. So you had to, as a manager now, you have to, if somebody doesn't show up, it's your job. Isn't that a pain in the ass? A Muppet patch. There you go. Good idea. There seems to be a lot of traffic coming up and down the trail today. Jim Foster, welcome aboard. I know it looks like shine, Jim, but it's well water from Llano, Texas. And as I said, I like it better than what you buy in the cooler. Weekend Warrior Day in the desert. You know, that's kind of true around here too. See a lot more of the ATVs. They're not allowed up here where I'm at right now, but there are areas where I see guys going out with them. Salary and management, what have I done? I hear you, Carl. I hear you. Been there, done that. I've got 2 or 3 T-shirts. You know, advertising. Get your rewards card. Da 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 da. It's all retail. Asking for a friend. I don't know, Sonia, but I'm a pirate. I'm going to do it anyway. Like they could tell. They'd probably be proud of me, actually. Have I had any Arizona well water? I don't know. Let's see. Joe's got city water. That's an interesting question now. I'm sure I've had a taste of the Colorado River. That is a very good question. Have I had Arizona well water? I'd have to say no. I don't believe I have. Well, naturally, the city water comes from a well, but then they put it through all the treatment with chlorination and fluoridation and oxidation. I don't know what all the dations that it goes through before it reaches your tap in your kitchen. Longhorn waste. You're not going to call the water police. That's hilarious. Thankfully, I don't have to go to the corner. It's 3:32. We should do Nancy's scratch off. Let's see. This one is all cash. Let's see. You match your numbers to any of the 4 winning numbers. You win the prize shown for that number. If you reveal looks like a coin with a dollar symbol on it, then you automatically win a prize. The odds are 1 in 3.77. That's a little bit better odds than you normally hear. They go from 5 all the way up to 50,000. We'll see what happens. I have a beat up quarter that I picked up out of the parking lot yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. When I worked at Buffalo Soldier Circle K, I found it. Rainwater, yeah. You know, I've always been fascinated with the idea that rainwater's pure. But where does that water get up into the clouds? It's sucked up out of the ocean. Well, you can't drink ocean water, but you can after it's been filtered through the clouds. How about that? God is great. You're hoping for 50K for Nancy. Me too. Because I could use half of that. Of course, 50K would amount to 25K after the taxes, approximately. But you know, if Nancy and I walked out of here with 12.5 each, that'd be fine. All right, here we go. Nancy's here, the other Nancy, our treasured home. Welcome aboard. Nancy Drew, your counterpart, guessed the featured channel, which is Steampunk Steve. There's a link a little higher up if you want to find it, Nancy, and click on his channel. I think you would enjoy him. Indian Rain Dance over at the club Little Horsefoot. All right, here we go. The winning number, one of the 4 winning numbers is 27. All right, and the very first number for Nancy is, boy, I about had a heart attack there, 22. But when I was scratching that second 2, it kind of looked like a 7. All right, next is, winning number is 39. And Nancy has 43. You know, I like the cash words better. I don't know. They seem like more fun. Okay, the next number is 31. Nancy has 29. Okay, we have one more winning number. Riding lawnmower money. You need a riding lawnmower, Nancy? I've got 2 at home, but I think one of them is going to go away. Sunk my battleship. Okay, the 4th number is 37. And Nancy's 4th number is 13. Okay, so now we've got 11 numbers left to try and match to those 4 numbers on the top line there. Or get one of those coin symbols. Here we go. 34, not a match. 14, not a match. Okay, the next is, it's got a 3, so it's 30 something. The winning numbers that we have is 39, 31, 37. See what we get. It's 30. All right. Next is 41. Not even close. Next is 6. Long ways away. And next is 4. We have 5 chances left. Go fish. All right. Next is 16. Nope. Then 21. Nope. 23. No. 2 left. 19. And the very last one is 24. It's a piece of junk, Nancy. I'm so sorry. That's gambling. What can you say? We haven't had any winners in a while. I don't know why that is. I thought maybe when I got out of New Mexico and got into Arizona, we'd start having winners again. But so far, no. Rats, dang it. But if William was here, he would tell Nancy she's still a winner. And I echo that. Everyone here is a winner. You may have to push the mower. What a bummer. All the luck fell out of that quarter when the guy dropped it in the parking lot. Yeah, there you go. Well, I felt kind of lucky for picking it up, but you know what? It's so been driven over a few times. I don't think you could use it like in a quarter machine, but it's still legal tender. I mean, if you plop down 4 quarters, you could include that quarter and it would still be worth 25 cents. So sew buttons on your underwear. So, okay, work tomorrow, believe it or not, on a Sunday. That's kind of surprising that there's a Sunday shift available, but I'm taking it. I'm looking forward to it. I went to the place yesterday just to see what it was like, and it's very nice, and the people were super nice. So I know I'm going to enjoy working there for 4 hours. I do have another chance to go back there perhaps for a different company, actually Pepsi Frito-Lay. And what I would be doing for them is setting up a display. We'll see. I signed up for it. That doesn't mean I'll get it. Or it might come up on a day when I'm not available because I'm working for ShiftSmart on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday this coming week. I have Wednesday off. And of course, Wednesday we have the 2-hour show. But even if I did work for either ShiftSmart or Frito-Lay, it would be way before the live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Mountain. I liked Troy's idea that I should go to the junk store and get a battery clock or a watch, whatever, and set it for Michigan time. That way I won't get so confused all the time. The phone will automatically be on whatever time that it is in the state that I'm in, and the clock will be Michigan time or Eastern time. That's a good idea. The Tuesday night, not a problem because I'll be out of work in time for the Tuesday night humor hour show. I got to work 10 till 2. So I might broadcast from the Circle K. That I'll be down in Bisbee. I won't be in Sierra Vista on Tuesday and Wednesday, unless I got to come back to Sierra Vista on Wednesday for Frito-Lay. But I should be in Bisbee most of the day on Wednesday, and I'll be working in Bisbee on Tuesday. So I'll spend a couple days in Bisbee. Use Siri to ask what time it is. Yeah. Actually, I think I've seen you do that. I don't have Siri. I have Google, but I hardly ever use that feature. Every now and then it pops up. Scares the hell out of me. How can I help you, Jack? I'm like, huh? Who's that? It's 6:41 in Louisville, Kentucky. That sounds right. It's 3:41, 3:42 now in Sierra Vista, Arizona. 52 pickup, yeah. I gotta scroll up here a second. I'm missing something. Phil said something I missed. Legal tender for all deaths, public and private. There you go. Paper for the fire pit. There you go. I don't know what the flag is on burning right now. To me, it's a little too dry and windy. Wouldn't take me long to get firewood though. I can see it all around me. There's dead wood. Right where I'm camped, there's no fire ring, but it wouldn't take long to make one. There's plenty of rocks. I could make one in probably 10 minutes. But, when you don't have anybody to share the fire with, it doesn't mean as much. To me, it doesn't mean as much. I mean, sure, I've had campfires by myself in the past, but not this trip. The last time I sat around a fire was at Ironwood. And that basically was the only time I sat around a fire was Ironwood. I didn't have a campfire since I left Michigan. I left Michigan December 3rd. So the only campfire I've been to is Ironwood. Pick up 4 rows, it read. I don't get it. Uno. Oh, okay, yeah. Uno's kind of a fun game. It always comes up 13. Good one, Brene. 3:42 in Ironwood. Okay, same time as it is here. Okay, now let's compare temperatures. Yeah, I that's the way I feel, Steve. It just seems like I can have a fire by myself, but it just seems kind of I can daydream and enjoy the fire that way. See the pictures in the fire. But somehow it's just I'd rather have at least one friend. All right, unlock it. 1, 3. The temperature is 85. Now that's in Sierra Vista. I'm up in the mountain. I I'd say it's about 83, maybe 82. Feels like it. There is a nice breeze. So 101. Wow. Nancy's got 74 in Kentucky. Tommy's got something. So buttons on my underwear. You have to keep my britches up. I might have to. 71 in Brunswick, Ohio. 77 in Pennsylvania. And 82 in Missouri. Rolla, Missouri. We're near there. I think it's comfortable. 101 sounds, ouch. Might be time to find the shade. I've been sitting in the shade. As much as I worship the sun, shade and a little bit of shelter from the wind so that you guys can hear me chatter away. Anything over 80 is hot. I'm okay. As long as I have water or I'm near water. Now, Jill, she gave me a little spritzer. Just what I wanted. I was going to buy one, but she gave me one. So if I get a little overheated, I just spritz myself, and it's like nice and cool. Typically, I don't have that happen. I sweat enough that the breezes will find me because I'm sweating, and that helps. That's what your body's supposed to do. Humidity wise, I've never really, humidity hasn't bothered me. We don't have it here. It's probably about 35% right now. Actually, a little lower than what I'm accustomed to. I haven't had to use the nasal spray or the eye drops, not in the last week or so, but probably when I get going up towards Parker, I will have to use both of those to keep my nasal passages moist and my eyes moist as well, because they do dry out when it gets that kind of temperature and low humidity. So I have to be cautious of that. Yeah, Jim, dry heat. That's what they say. 61 is perfect sweatshirt. 10% humidity makes 101 bearable. Just need shade and a breeze. Yeah. Now with 10% humidity, I would have to definitely use the nasal, shoot moisture up my nose, and use the eye drops. I sure don't. I don't want to get an aneurysm. That wasn't fun. I had it happen. Hot tub temperature, desert. Yeah, there you go. Soaked with sweat at your grandson's baseball practice. Okay. 54% where Diane is in Indiana. Typically in Michigan, especially because of the lakes, and we're always running high humidity. 67, 70% humidity is the normal in Michigan for humidity in the summertime. And even higher. It can go, I've seen days where, it's 100 degrees and the humidity is 100%, and it's not raining, but you are sweating like a bandit. But that's when it's nice to be living by a lake. You just go dive in. You have to set it at 103 so you can actually feel the difference, right, Steve? Actually, 104 is the standard temperature for hot tubs. So I would think that in some ways the hot tub might actually feel kind of cool and refreshing out there in the desert. Bernays got 50% dew point at 56. Give your drink. Well, at least you're kind of like in the halfway zone, right? Right, Bernay? I like that. Couldn't take anymore. um, I certainly would rather have the heat than the cold. Hey, that's another reason I'm out here. I wanted heat, and I've got it. But yeah, this I will say my happiness has been out here in the Southwest for the winter months, uh, being first time snowbird, if you will. Um, Looking forward to doing it again. Am I leaving here to escape the heat? No. Um, isn't that something how the sunlight right there, that looks like snow up there? It's not. There was snow up there, though, according to Jill, a couple weeks ago. Um, but I'm not leaving Arizona because of the heat. Uh, I'm only leaving Arizona because I got things to do back east or back in the Midwest. I'll be back. I've grown a little fond of Arizona. New Mexico's okay too. Texas certainly is fine with me. I like Texas. Um, I want to see more out here. I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to go to. Eventually, I'd like to go to Las Vegas. I do have a possibility of spending some time in a town called Quincy, California. As I understand it, it is about 60 or 70 miles to the northeast of Oroville, California. Most people know approximately where Oroville is, and that is north of Sacramento. That's all I know. Looks like very, very beautiful countryside. Lots of ponderosa pines um, and mountains. Uh, I'm gonna be interested to go out there. I'm gonna be cautious because that deep into California, you know, it's gonna make it difficult to escape to Nevada or Arizona to get fuel. All the cool kids hang out in Arizona. That's a possibility. Diet Mountain Dew slushy at 7-Eleven. Don't fool me. I got it. That's Bernay's version of Arnold Palmer. Give me a drink. Okay, I'm caught up now, sort of. Not all the cool kids are there right now. That's cute, Rose. Traveling Nate Dog says it's 55 in Maine. That's what your phone says. Okay. Well, most of the phones are correct, surprisingly. I've seen the Pacific Ocean before, Linda, uh, and it's beautiful. But What I don't want to see is the price on the gas pumps. Okay, no Vegas in the summer. Well, that's when you sing that song. There's a warm wind blowing the stars around, and I'd really love to see you tonight. It's one of my favorite songs. Sending you heat. Missing a few, yeah. Sonia says it's going to be in the high 70s where she's at, which is no noisy. That's another thing I'm hoping. I don't see how it's going to be possible. Maybe I'll have a chance to go to the New Jersey meetup. Don't know. You know, my agenda is kind of changing because of family things. There's family things going on, which I always try to avoid, but this time I don't think I can. California looks different than the Pacific and Hawaii. Well, I followed the coastline from San Diego up to a little bit north of San Francisco before I headed inland. And I thought the California coast was just absolutely amazing. Never been to Hawaii. I have seen pictures. Kind of interesting to try to figure out why. Why is it different? Well, Hawaii's basically volcano. And as far as land mass, it's nothing compared to the continental United States or the continent of the Americas. I don't know. Why would the Pacific Ocean be different? Just looks different. Yeah, it is a nice route, James. Uh, Wintertime can be a little iffy. Uh, Big Sur had mudslides this year. I wasn't there, but I heard about them. And then way back in 72, when I was in Big Sur, there was mudslides and they had to close everything down. There was a fatality. Poor guy running a road grader got washed off the side of the mountain and was killed by the mudslide. It was mad. It was crazy. Yeah, I would like to go to Hawaii someday too. I'd have to go by boat though. I'm scared to fly. Tropical weather, Mediterranean weather, humidity in California, ocean breezes, no humidity unless you get some kind of Mediterranean storm. Okay. Mother Nature needs an intervention. 101, California, along the coastline, the western coast of California, Highway 101. It's kind of famous, actually. I wonder where those kids are. Feels like they're right behind me, but that's a gulch canyon. Maybe there's a trail down there that I don't know about. I haven't been down there, and it would make sense that people would go down there because I can hear water flowing. So there's probably some falls down there. I guess I could follow the sound of the children's voices and find out what's down there. Then I'd have to climb back up. 80 degrees in Byron Center. Cool. We're warm, actually. Yeah, I have a friend that lives in Hawaii, or she did, and she may be back there. She always said she was going to go back. She said it was expensive, but she loved it. You know, I fly in my dreams, but flying on airplanes is kind of, I don't know. This not quite my cup of tea. Will it be someday? Could be. I sure like that glider thing at Ironwood. I was real tempted to dip into my pocketbook and do that. Especially with Lucy was so geeked. Like, man, she couldn't not stop smiling when she got out of that glider. She was smiling for days. All right, we'll hang out a few more minutes, then I probably better go. I do have the possibility of a film I want to try. I might do it in two parts. We'll see. I did transplant my tomato plant. We'll see what happens. That's about the only thing I accomplished today, other than these two live streams and the tomato plant. The rest of the time's been on the phone with family shit. Yeah, now Maui, isn't that where they had the fire, the disaster? People had to jump in the ocean to get away from it. Snorkeling in the crater of an extinct volcano and seeing a red octopus. Wow. Yeah. Uh, the feature channel, Steampunk Steve. He's been to 48 states. This is as of a couple years ago. Um, with the bus. He's not been to Alaska yet, and he's not been to Hawaii, but it's on his list. Now, wouldn't that be cool to take a schoolie to Hawaii? God, it would have to be ungodly expensive to get it there. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying, Brene. You know, when you think about it, there's only been a couple times on this trip where I felt kind of the desolation, if you will, the uh, almost boring landscape, or as Terry would call it, the train. What train? Union Pacific. The terrain. Uh, but even so, I would sit there and say, well, it all looks the same, but we know it's not. Every one of those creosote trees can tell a story, an individual story, don't you think? Each rock has its own story. We just have to listen. Yeah, I haven't certainly not been to all 48 states by long shots, She Devil. Well, I'm certainly closer than I was now. Oh, that's cool, Steve. Well, you're going to have to put Michigan on your bucket list and come to M24 or M25. I understand. Yeah, Alaska's on my list. Am I going to go in the wintertime? No. North Dakota is another place I'd love to go see. Well, I'd like to see every state. Um, I'm not real big on big cities. But you know what? New York is a beautiful state north of New York. You get up by Albany and north of Albany, it's beautiful up there. I went to a park. It was State Park, Letchworth State Park in upstate New York. Oh man, absolutely beautiful. Just yeah. But I try to find the beauty in everything. Um, Even if I had to go to the big city, I'd still be trying to find the beauty of it. Um, it's everywhere. You just got to find it. You got to look for it. Sometimes you got to make it. Dreamland of Alaska. Yep. Yes, Steve's been all over. Near Vermont. Yeah. I've been through Connecticut and Vermont, mainly on my way to Nova Scotia, but um, I would love to spend more time in Connecticut and Vermont because from what little I did see, it was gorgeous. You know, does it count if your flight has a short stop on the way? Ah, yeah, kinda. It doesn't give you bragging rights, so not really. There's a that's yeah. I want to get to Lake Havasu again because I want to touch the London Bridge, make a song. I don't know if I'm going to get to Lake Havasu this segment or not. I've been there, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time in Lake Havasu, just work. And then work and camp, but not really visit a whole lot. Poconos, yeah. You only get half a point. There you go. The Appalachians, yeah. Carolinas and the Appalachians, and of course, West Virginia. Amazing, amazing down through there. And how do those people live? My goodness. Lived in New Hampshire, traveled all over, yeah. West Virginia, Tennessee, jamming, yep. I have not been to Tennessee. I've been to um, Kentucky, parts of Kentucky, lots of West Virginia. I've spent quite a bit of time in West Virginia over the years. Worked in West Virginia. Ohio, not as much as I'd like to see of Ohio, but I've seen quite a bit. Indiana, not a lot. Illinois, not really all that much. You know, some places. Uh, Never been to Iowa. Never been to Minnesota. Have been to Wisconsin, but only briefly. It's almost like Dirk. Does it count? Crossed over in the ferry, went to the bar, and came back. Does that count? Yeah. Well, you've definitely done some traveling back and forth to the South Coast, Dirk. We followed you on Google Maps down to Florida. Diane's driven coast to coast. I have not done the coast to coast, uh, but you know, from Michigan, I've been to the East Coast and I've been to the West Coast, but almost this trip because if you count uh, Myrtle Beach, from Myrtle Beach to Yuma, pretty doggone close. Whitakers. Name kind of sounds familiar. I've been across the Golden Gate 4 or 5 times. Long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Dirk. I've kind of done that too. Many trips to Arkansas, the northern part of Arkansas. The Ozark Mountains, to me, are beautiful. But yeah, many trips from Grand Rapids to Harrison, Arkansas. Many trips, either driving or hitchhiking. Hell, that was back in the 70s. That bridge down in West by God, Virginia. What's that called? New Gorge? Is it New Gorge or River Gorge? I've been across that. That's fun. That's a way up there bridge. I went across it when it was brand new. No, okay, I'm missing something. What's the soft white underbelly break your heart? What are we talking about? Something to do with the Whitakers? Now, Wright-Patterson, isn't that where they took the aliens from 1947? The Roswell? Well, I am lost as to what Phil and Nancy are talking about. Yeah, Wright-Patterson has something to do with ufology, uh, little green men history. You're one of the aliens. Oh, that's good, Steve. That's good. The truth is out there. You know, I don't discount it too terribly far. I'm not one to say that it's true or not true. Uh, am I adamant? No, I'm not adamant either way. Some people are, you know. This is another one of those campfire topics. You know, are we alone? I doubt it. I very much doubt it. Do we know who they are? I have a tendency to believe that, yeah, we haven't met them yet. Are they out there? Yeah, more than likely. Have they been here? Maybe. I won't say anything, Steve. It all has to do with those chemical trails. Oh, gosh. Lily and I talked about chemical trails. And to me, I'm like, that's hot exhaust coming out of a jet engine. But she's kind of got me thinking that, is that all it is? I don't know. But I do know that, 2,000 feet above my head, or even less, the air is different. And if you get up there at 30,000, it's definitely different. Where these planes fly, well, anywhere from 15,000 to 30,000 feet. And you see their contrails. So you got a jet engine that's burning fuel, generating heat of, probably 900 degrees or more. And it's going through the atmosphere that's only maybe, well, we know it's going to be below freezing. So you've got a temperature difference there, and you're going to have evidence of that in the form of condensation. Jets make clouds. Seems that simple to me. Where's Sulks? Yeah, we need him. Charlie's trying to talk about. Yeah, we've talked about that too, Steve, that maybe they are cracking it open. Yeah, Linda's right statistically. I have to say I agree with that. And our job, Linda, is to bring them to Jesus. Boy, I laid an egg that time, didn't I? The you know, if the veil is lifted, let's just say that everything we've been seeing on shows like what's that one we just mentioned? I can hear the music. Do 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 do. The truth is out there. What was the name of that show? X-Files. Thank you. Could it be true that the government has kept it secret and other governments have kept it secret forever and a day because it would upset the way things are? What does the Pope know about it? Or does he? Or is he suppressing it too? Because it would certainly unbalance a few things. And then I go, why should it? Isn't it possible that aliens have a belief in a creator as well as we do? It's annoying. AI is annoying. Can be. Yeah, just the beginning for us amateurs. I like this topic. The apple cart. Yeah, the apple cart would get turned over, Steve. We'd be chasing apples down the road. Why? Because our bosses said to. Because it's their apple cart that got upset. I don't know. I think I could be very acceptable of it. I'm scared of flying, but other than Roswell, they seem to do a pretty good job at it. Take me up. Nano, there you go. Oh, Sonia, that is so irritating. You know, on YouTube especially. Oh, gosh. Somebody wrote a script, and it's an AI that's reading the script. And they even try to put in inflections, but at the wrong spots. It is error. I might be totally interested in the topic, but when they do the AI voice, I have to leave. It just frustrates me. I hate it. Bernays doesn't believe in aliens, but I do believe in government chaos. That probably is pretty well provable. Thank you, Rose. They might be among us. Aliens returned recently, but left quite quickly when they discovered very little. Yeah, that could be. Are there conspiracies? Are the chemical trails something that the government is doing so that we're all breathing ammonium sulfate and it's giving us all Parkinson's of some sort? I don't know. or it's affecting our brains. I don't know. Is it? I'm not quite going down that rabbit hole, but a lot of people do. Enough so that you can find any amount of topics on it on YouTube. Books have been written. It's conspiracy theories are fun. What is Skinwalker Ranch? What's going on? What about all these cattle that supposedly got mutilated? What about that? What is all this hocus pocus? Is Art Bell still pulling the strings? Or wait, that's George Norrie now that's pulling the strings. And Gaia. What else? There's a few very, I would have to say, worthwhile organizations that you can hook up with and go very deep down the rabbit hole. Beam me up. Yeah. Numerous Top Gun. Yeah. Yeah. Something is here, Phil. Is it aliens? Is it ourselves from a future alternate universe? Crop circles. Very, very fascinating. And I will say, for the ones that were faking it, yeah, those are pretty damn talented guys too. Keep us around to experiment on. Who's to say that that's not true, Steve? It could very well be. Then there's others that say that they're watching us and trying to basically guide us to get us away from nuclear wars, destroying ourselves. Lord knows we still got bullshit going on with wars. I mean, look at Ukraine and Russia, and there's stuff going on that we don't even hear about or know about or care about. That might be one of our downfalls is apathy. And another one is history. A lot of people don't seem to know history. I don't know as much history as I should. I want to go back to Fredericksburg to that war museum, spend more time there. The way they've got it laid out through each of the rooms that you go through, all the things that were leading up to World War II. Place is called the Pacific War Museum, and it's in Fredericksburg, Texas. Nimitz was born in Fredericksburg. That's part of one of the reasons that they do a lot with the USS Nimitz and the history and all about his family and himself. It's all quite interesting. But the timeline thing that they have, it's up across the top of the wall. You move, things that were happening in the early 1900s and possibly before in Germany and Prussia. I said Prussia, not Russia. All these different events that gradually ended up having a link to the World War II. It's fascinating. And then I don't know who said it, but it wasn't Yogi Berra, but somebody that was up there. Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. Well, good Lord, there's a lot of our history we sure as hell don't want to repeat. Let me check this out. I might totally agree with it, Brene. They sit around and wait for our reaction, and they try to solve the issues. And in the end, it costs us more money. Right? You know, we had 14 children back in the day because we needed them to work on the farm. And then gradually the families got smaller. Boys went off to war. Women had to go to work to support the war effort. I'm talking World War II. Things changed. Suddenly, now in the 1950s, everybody became consumers. Even our children were all consumers. Yeah. It could happen, Linda. An intervention may just happen. There you go, Diana. I totally agree with that too. I'll sleep okay tonight. I might watch a few crazy things on YouTube. What did they find in the Grand Canyon this time? Metal scrapper. Yeah. It's all my fault, Steve. Hey, you know what? It still happens. Jill and I were at the tourist info building or whatever. I got a bunch of brochures. I even got, I think I mentioned this yesterday, I even got maps of the various trails up here in the Huachuca Mountains. And outdoors, I found a piece of scrap metal. I picked it up. I've got it. It's in the cab of the truck. And then I went around another corner, and there was a Phillips screwdriver. I'm like, probably belongs to this tourist center, but on the other hand, another Phillips screwdriver in my toolbox wouldn't hurt. So I have that too. I still pick up stuff. You had an email exchange with Seth Shostak of SETE about Top Gun pilot David Fravor's interview on Joe Rogan about his lady backup pilot's encounter with a UFO TikTok. I watch Joe Rogan every now and then, but that one I've not seen. Nate Dogg, if you really, it's supposedly biblical, but this is all going to happen. Armageddon, the crap that's going on in the Middle East right now, the Palestinians and the Iranians and Israel, all that shit going on could be prophecy coming true. It was all controlled by thems. Yeah, I've seen. I don't know about the big hole in the Grand Canyon, Sonia, but they've supposedly found giants or remnants, and who knows what else they found in the Grand Canyon. And why not? The Grand Canyon has not been totally explored. We probably know more about the moon than we do the Grand Canyon. Big long hole. Yep. And still controlled by thems. The proverbial they. They this and they that and they said and who was it that is it Carol? Not Carolyn. Who is that chick? She does this. I can't think who it is, but Blind Views has her as part of his outro. I can't think. Her name is Carolyn, I believe, but I can't think what her channel name is. She's a hoot. Grand Canyon was caused by a meteorite and erosion. That's it, nothing more. Then why is it so sacred? I mean, ask a Navajo. You know, they have that lookout that they built. You know, it's a big ass porch sticking out on the side of the cliff that you can walk out on. It's got a glass floor. Hell no. I'm kind of nervous sitting here in this trailhead because it's a wash. And I'm looking up there several thousand feet and I see these big boulders up there. They could come this way and they'd be channeled right here. It's kind of like a valley that goes straight up. Nothing I can do about it. I would not have time to get out of the way, I'm sure. Michigan Carol, welcome aboard. Yeah, we're just chit-chatting, going a half hour late, but that's okay. We've been having fun. Started talking about aliens and government conspiracies and chemical trails. Now we're on the Grand Canyon. The things they're finding in the Grand Canyon, which, you know, about 90% of the time, I feel, you know what? These people have got some pretty good imaginations. And they got content, they got followers, they've got subscribers, they're monetized. I wish the hell they'd stop using AI voice. Please. Ate too many beans for dinner. There you go. In the valley of the jolly ho 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 green giant. I remember that. You remember that commercial when we were kids, the green giant? What was the little one? Spud? No, not Spud. That was a dog, I think. Sprout. Yeah, they're gonna fly alongside. Hey, I wouldn't put it past them. You know, I've seen things in the sky that I couldn't explain. I saw something last night that wait a minute. How is it possible? Then I think, okay, the sunlight is shining on a plane, but it's dark. So to me, it's dark because I'm in the shadow of the mountain. But I'm looking up, and even though the sky has gotten pretty close to being dark, I still see this illuminated airplane. And of course, could see anything around here because this is Huachuca military base, and there's drones. I've seen a few drones. I haven't seen any at night, but I have seen drones. Certainly F-16s a lot. All the big transports. I forget what the designation number is for the refuelers. The the planes that go up and refuel the jet planes in flight. It's fascinating. I haven't seen it being done, but I see it. The planes. You can tell they're the tanker planes. Keep digging, yeah. Gimpy Camper is here. Welcome aboard. So good to see you. Are you going to M24, I hope? I'll be back in Michigan mid-June. I don't know where you're hanging out, Gimpy Camper. I know one of your bases is up by Traverse City. One of these days we'll cross paths for sure. Yeah, we concluded that the aliens exist, Carol. They're just about 15 miles south of me. They don't even have green cards. And Some are unfortunately paying big money to the cartels to get them across the border. Oh, wait, you're talking extraterrestrial aliens, maybe. Gimpy campers coming to M24. That's cool, Barrett. Looking forward to seeing you. Pigeon Forge. I knew you were down doing something. Next weekend for 2 weeks. Yeah. I won't be in Michigan until probably, I'm going to say conservatively, the third week in June. I should be in the Grand Rapids area. I'm actually thinking of going to the east side of the state first, just for shits and giggles. But we'll see how the money is working. Chances are, once I leave Missouri, it'll be a straight shot. I'm not going to drive it one day. I'll stay somewhere in Indiana or Illinois overnight. I'm not going to drive. It's from Rolla, Missouri. It's about 700 miles to Grand Rapids. So I'm not going to drive it all at once. I used to when I was a kid, but not doing it. Raleigh and Shipshewana. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a lot. Put it on the miles. I've put on some miles. I can't tell you exactly anymore because the odometer doesn't work on here. I have to go back to the maps and figure out all the different mileages. But prior to getting rid of the 2004, I had traveled since December 3rd on this journey. I had traveled 7,500 miles. By the time I do get back into Michigan, I would have to say it's going to be close to about 12,000 miles that I will have traveled in 6-7 months' time. You're just in Florida for a minute, right, Barrett? I've been working. I got to work tomorrow here in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Yeah, the gas is terrible. And this truck, God love her, La Fortuna 3.0 is a wonderful, wonderful rig. She'll pass everything except the gas station. And that's one of the reasons I'm thinking I may drive the bus next year, because diesel has come down to where it's the same as unleaded. Pretty damn close, you know. Well, this gets 8 miles to the gallon. So does the bus. And the bus has got a bigger tank, so I could actually travel further between refuel stops. The tank on the bus is a 60 gallon, whereas this tank is only 20. I don't know. It's all relative. The bus has more room, but the bus wouldn't be up on this road. So you got to kind of weigh it out. Which do you want? I like this. I'm out here where basically nobody else can get to. This is 4-wheel drive country up here. So you're the only alien? It has to be Sulks. Right? I agree. Going to 7-Eleven for a 0 sugar Dragoon fruit Slurpee. Let's go. That sounds that make I don't have teeth anymore, Brene, but it makes the memory is making my teeth and jaws hurt. That's way too much. I know you're saying it's 0 sugar, but no, it's still sweet. Yeah, I can't drive the bus to work easily. I've thought about that too. Most of the Circle K's that I've worked at, yes, I could park the bus. The one in Parker on California Street, no problem, plenty of parking area. But the one that I really like that's down on the Colorado River, on Riverview Street, no, it's nowhere to park a bus. The poor delivery guys have trouble with the short semi trucks. You know, they're usually pushing 50 feet, and they have difficulties, and they're, they can maneuver around because, they're semis. But the bus, it's 40 feet, and it don't articulate. I don't know where I'd park to work at that Circle K. Other places, no problem. The bus could go. Where to camp? Now that's an issue. Right around here, Sierra Vista, I don't know where I'd park the bus for camping. Work-wise, not a problem. I mean, yeah, okay, there's Walmart. I've stayed at Walmarts, and yeah, I don't like to. I'd rather be out here in the boondocks. When it's not work time, for instance, the meetups, no problem. Looks like I'll be taking the bus to M24 for sure. I want to go to Schooley UP. I don't know if I'll be affording it time-wise and money-wise. And then it's going to be a we'll see come end of October. If the money's there, I might tow this behind me. I have to drop the drive shafts, I would think, and just tow it behind me. Drive it back and forth to work. But actually, I think if I do tow it behind me, there'll be another purpose. I may not own her in a year from now. We'll see. I'm going to own her here in the next 3 weeks. I will own this truck. So that's another reason I'm still in Arizona. There was other places I wanted to go to, including further north, Nevada. And then I kind of wanted to come across Utah, the upper states. That's not going to happen now. It's basically maybe the first week of June, second week of June, more or less of a beeline towards Rolla, Missouri. Help Rose out with her van and help Dakota in her garden for a day or two, and then I'll be buzzing, heading for Michigan. So, and then we start all over again come late fall. The journey will restart, God willing. And God willing, it's probably time to get off here. It's turned into a 2-hour show. Oh, the solo man with a cat, not in a van. You really want to know, Tina. You know how I told you that Linda Barker and Nancy Drew were probably going to go back and watch all of my old videos to figure it out? Nancy did. And this is exactly how she figured it out, Tina. The featured channel was Steampunk Steve. And yes, I featured him a little over a year ago. And yeah, he's a worthwhile channel. I enjoy watching him, and I hope to meet him. I thought I was going to meet him this winter here in the desert, but that didn't work out that way. Okay, Linda, we'll see you Tuesday night. Thank you for being aboard. And I'm glad you came back in, Tina. KC-135 is a plane that refuels. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, I see them almost every day here in Sierra Vista. I do drink quite a bit of sweet tea, Sonia with a J. It's my favorite. The Arizona sweet tea is really good. Yeah, Steampunk Steve, of course, he has the big bus. I have a feeling he is going to go to Schooley UP as well, which is another incentive for me to get to Schooley UP. But with the stuff that's going on with the family right now, I just don't know. All right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you Thank you, everyone, for being aboard. Sorry you didn't win some money on that scratch off, Nancy, but oh well, it is what it is. Maybe next time. Yeah, maybe you did meet him. I can't remember if you did or not, Tina. Did you meet Steampunk Steve? If you did, I'm jealous. And I have a feeling you did meet him. His bus is a big blue bus. Thank you, Tommy. Bernays doing the zero sugar dragon fruit Slurpee. All right. Everybody's saying good night. You're going to go to it this year. And you did meet him. That's excellent. I think he's the coolest guy out there. I definitely have to meet him at some point in time. It seems to me like he and I are birds of a feather. All right, Nancy and everybody, Rose, Tina, Tommy, everyone else that's been saying good night. We will see you Tuesday night for Adult Humor. You might see me on a video or two in between now and then. I'll be thinking of you all. So there we go. In the meanwhile, fair winds and smiles. And as always, may God bless. Thank you for being aboard. End the stream.